Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of ExcelR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Wanna get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. ExcelR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with ExcelR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if ExcelR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with ExcelR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank ExcelR for being a part of it.
Good evening all. Shahid sir, can you please start the session? Students, kindly inform your friends to join the session as soon as possible.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Okay, so should I start?
Yeah, yes, sir, you can start.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay. So, good evening, everyone. So today, this session will be very important because we are going to build a model. Basically, it will be a classification model, and we will save our model as a scikit-learn model. Okay, we will develop our model. We'll build our model using scikit-learn library, and we will try to deploy as a Flask application. So, as you know already, that Flask is a Python web development framework basically. So we'll try to build one HTML file that will be index file, and you will see all these things, and the backend development also you will see, and the model we have developed. Okay. So before that, I'm sharing the complete files, whatever the files we require. So before that, let me give the steps that what we are going to perform today. That we have to develop the complete project. So basically, so our first step is to model development, that we have seen that classification model or the regression model or the clustering model. Three different types of the models we have learned, we have developed. There are different other learning algorithms are there, but we due to the time constraint we haven't covered all these things. But these things we have covered for the supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So in supervised learning we have regression and classification, and in unsupervised learning we have seen clustering. So in classification also we have seen different algorithms, and clustering also we have seen two different uh, clustering algorithms. But what we will do, we will take one algorithm and we will develop one model, complete one model, and we will save that model as a pickle file. So pickle is a library. We will see all these things. So whatever we have developed up to the first step, we have developed all these things. In the previous session that I have saved a model as a model.pkl. Okay, so up to the first step we have covered, means it will cover all the things that we have seen. But to whatever we are doing from the first session, so like model selection, we are selecting different types of the model. We have seen supervised and supervised models. Learning, we have seen, we have trained on the data set, then we get the model. Okay, and we have seen also pre-processing, how we are going to pre-process the model data set. And we have also worked on the model evaluation and model validation. So in the last one we have done model validation. So from the last session, we will take our model that we have saved already. So all these things we have seen, and feature engineering we have seen, and how to deal with the like whatever we have done different things in the pre-processing steps. So all the things you have to do in the model development, starting from the data pre-processing, feature engineering, and all these things, and up to the model training, testing, finding the accuracy, whatever the how this is, you are going to evaluate the model, and then we reached up to the we have done also hyperparameter tuning. Okay, so different things we have done. We'll see all these things, and we reached that. Finally, we developed a model. We saved the model. So that is the first step. That whatever in the last six sessions we have done. Okay, so up to we reach that model, we have built the model, we have saved the model. Now we are going to develop a Flask application. So for that thing, we will create a Python file that will be basically app.py, and in that one will be index.html. This will be your front end basically, and this will work as your backend or the server. And this will be the model that we need, that we have developed already. So we have our model.pkl, we have to develop index.html, and we have to uh, develop or the create app.py. So we'll see all these things. And for that thing, basically we need Flask, how to install, you see all these things. So we will install the Flask as a okay, so as a package we are going to install as a Python package, but basically it's a complete framework. Okay. So we'll try to run the Flask app locally on our system, and then if time permits, today, either tomorrow, we'll see how to create repository and push all these the codes that we have developed to the GitHub, and then make it live. Okay, because running running any program, machine learning models or the program, okay, locally, so you can see all these things. But when the others, you have to make live for the all other users. So you have to make it on some like render you can use. Okay, so you have to make live so we can use render. So basically, so first thing is to uh, go here, just uh, just go and download these things because we need while developing. Okay, so I will go step by step that how you are going to develop. But if you have these things, so it will be easy to. So I'm setting the repository. Basically, okay. So I'm sharing the repository in the chat. Okay. So it's a another repository. It's not the that way we're sharing the data in the. This will be basically a different repository. It is not inside the whatever daily I was sharing. Okay. So up to the day six, last day means previous day on Friday that we have developed. So we will use the model, whatever we have developed earlier. And after that, we will use all these files. Okay. So I will show you how to complete these files and whatever the things are written inside, what are the requirement.txt. Okay, everything. So download these files, and we'll go one by one. Okay. So first thing is to develop our model. Okay. So first we are going to take our model. So that thing we have to open the previous one that we have uh, collab. So just let me open. So last that model validation and feature engineering part that we have taken. Okay, basically we don't this open new book. So we need this one model validation methods. Okay, if you are using locally Jupyter notebook, so you upload. Okay, so this for the model validation, this one the last session we have done this. So we are going to use these things, and again I will show you how to save the model. Okay, so for that thing we need our data set. Data set is basically we are using so you can go and look in detail that how our data set is. Basically, you can find the data set at Kaggle. Okay. So basically, we are using this PIMA Indians diabetes data set. So it's not about Indians like we Indians, but basically in America, there is a tribe. Okay, so Pima tribes, Pima Indians. So they collected data about them, and this data set only for the female candidates. Okay, so all these things are there. The number of the pregnancies are there. How many pregnancies are there? And basically, what it classify the candidate that whether a particular woman is diabetic or not on the basis of these information. Okay, so one of that information is pregnancy, number of pregnancy, how many pregnancies she had earlier. Okay, 1805, something like that. So it's they are tribal people, so you can say, okay, so how many these things are there? Glucose level is there, plasma glucose concentration are 2 hours. So you can find these things, okay. And blood pressure, we have seen already this data set, we have downloaded, we have this data set. Okay, so you can, but here visualization is good. So that's why I have taken here. So blood pressure is there, another feature, input feature. Then skin thickness is there. That is another insulin level. Okay, number of these are there. 2 hour serum insulin. So different input features are there. BMI is there, diabetes, and diabetes pedigree function is there. Okay. So this is basically related to the family history. So what is the age and what will be the outcome, either 0 or 1. Okay. So this says that whether a particular woman is diabetic or not on the basis of these input features. So we will again uh, upload the data set, and we'll try to build the model finally. So this is basically what PIMA Indian diabetes dataset that we have. So you can, sorry. So you can upload. So basically, current whenever you are working on the Google Colab, so your current working directory is the content. Okay. So inside the content, whatever you are doing, you have to upload. So we are uploading our data set in sample. Okay, sample data. So you can upload here, and just you can go and wherever you have uploaded your dataset, wherever you have dataset, upload from there. So basically, this was for the validation. So we are not concerned about these things. But what we have to do, we have a classification model. Okay. And for the classification model, we are going to save our model here. Okay. So before saving our model, we have to train our model. So you can go here. Just this is fine tuning that we have seen yesterday, not yesterday, but yeah, the last in the last session. So what can we do? We can rerun this. Okay. So for hyperparameter, this we have the file, and these are the input feature names. So all these things we have already seen everything. So let's go quickly so that we can complete as many things as before the session ends. Okay. So you can see this also. You can create, basically you can create different models. That these two here we have taken these two models, KNN models and the decision tree model. So basically what you are going to do, you can create other models. Okay, you can see what are the different models in the classification model. Okay, you can check that what are different models, supervised, okay, classification models. You can check this as well. Okay, So nearest k nearest neighbor that we have implemented, and XGBoost is there. Different models. Gaussian, naive base is there. Tree based models, decision tree, random forest, gradient boosting is there. So you can use different models, and you can find that which model is best for your data set. Okay, so let's do these two models, and you can find that best score is here when you are using k nearest neighbor. So that is all these things. This is basically hyperparameter tuning. We have taken the a data set. We have taken these number of the neighbors. What will be the number of the neighbors that is deciding? That is 8. Okay, so you can go with hyperparameter tuning, and we are taking another, that is decision tree. Okay, so we already have seen that decision tree takes different hyperparameters. So one is criteria, which criteria is better? Okay, linear, entropy, max, depth, all these things we have seen. So just run, we try to find out our model. Okay, so you can go here and you can find that our accuracy is basically 82%, 82.9%. Okay, so for that thing, we go with this model, this best model. We are treating as these best parameters, basically these are hyper parameters. Okay, so when you are deciding, you are passing the value of the parameter to the model, means externally. So those will be called as hyperparameter. And when training, while training the parameters learned, so those will be called the basic simple parameters. Okay. So for that thing, that we are going to save our model, that this thing we have seen here. If you go, that what will be the model? Okay. So this D tree, or this D tree is basically okay. So you can use basically these things like the best hyperparameters, the criterion as Gini, depth as 5, and this as 3, and this as min samples split is 10. So you can pass these values to the decision tree classifier, and you can create a model, basically final model that you are going to create. So this will be our final model using these hyperparameters, and then you are going to fit the model. And when you fit the model, then means your model is ready. Now you just train the model, or just save the model. So how you are going to save the model? You give a file name for the model. Okay, so basically generally we are saying that model.pkl. So okay, you need to write pkl. You can give your name, whatever the name is. Okay, so you can say decision tree, basically D tree model. You can say D tree model. Okay, DT model dot pkl. Okay, but sake of simplicity, we are taking model dot pkl. Okay, so this will give just to save, just to run the model. This whatever we have, and this file, and pickle.dump. This pickle is a library. Pickle.dump, what this function will do, it will save this model, basically whatever you have trained. You have trained model.fit. Okay, so this is the model that we have created. So this model is saved as file name, whatever you have given the file name. Okay, so you can give the respective path also, but if you are running like this, so in the current directory it will be saved. Okay, so just run, and you'll see here, the model dot pickle, a file will be created here, and that will be our model. See here, this is the model dot pickle file that we need basically. Okay, so already we have done up to here. So what you have to do, just to go and download. If you're working in your local, like locally you are working at Jupyter notebook, so it will be saved. The model.pkl will be saved in your current directory. So no issue, no need to download. But here we are working on the, so this will be our this file is downloaded. Okay. So now the first step, is completed. So for that thing, we have our model. Now we have to develop our Flask application that we need index.html and app.py and model.pk we have. So for that thing, you open any your IDE. You can use uh, VS Code, any like notebook, Notepad++. You can use any other. Okay. So for that thing, I am using PyCharm. So just open your PyCharm or the VS Code or any ideally, so that we can develop all these things. Okay, so wherever the project is that you can create your project or that. So let's say where our project is. Basically, this project does not exist. So okay, I think I have removed. So you can open any and just you can go. Just you can go into file and go for the open, and you can check where your project is. So basically my project is here, complete project. So just open this one, project demo. Okay, so let me check that where my project is basically. So okay, in 7 we have this project here. Okay, so you can open. So basically we want to go users this and ExcelR, and in that this is and 7. So this is our basically, yeah. So you can open a new window or this window. So let's open in this window. So the main thing is here. I have done these things, but what you will do? Let's close all these things. Okay. So just first thing is to create a virtual environment. I have created here. I've tested for the 2 virtual environments. Okay, but you can test. You can open or you can create a virtual environment. So for that thing, what you will do? You can write Python space then -m then venv and then space. This is you have to write for all. Okay, and whatever the virtual environment name you want to give. Okay, so let's say my underscore venv. Earlier I have created my env, my venv. You can create any, you can give any name. Okay, so just run this, it will create all these things. It will create a file with my underscore venv. Okay, so you can find here. This is a file. This is a folder is okay. Folder is created, and in that folder you have different things, include lib, scripts, and these things you need. So just you have to go and you have to activate. So for that you have to go into script, and within the script we have a file that is activate. Okay, so you have to go. So what you will do, whatever the folder name is, that is my. So you can go my underscore env is there. Then within that I scripts with capital S is there, and then activate is there. Okay, so you just hit enter. You will give, it will give you like this my env, my underscore venv is uh, activated basically. Okay, now in that you have to install whatever the requirements, the libraries you need. Okay, so you can go here and check that what different libraries we need. Okay, you need numpy, you need sklearn, that is basically scikit-learn. Okay, and different libraries that we need. So I have collected here all the list of the libraries that we need. Okay, so these are the Flask. One important thing that Flask we need. So you have to write all these things, that what is, this is very important, what is the version you are using. Okay, currently at the time of the development of your project, what the version you are using, you have to write. Okay, so let's say that Flask you are using 3.0.3. Okay, currently you are using this one. And Unicorn, okay, G Unicorn, you're using this 23.00. Currently, when you are working locally, so this is not needed. But when you are going to deploy on the render or some online, okay, so you need G Unicorn. Okay, so that's why all these things are job leave, and Jinja will come with your Flask. Job leave will come with your scikit-learn, NumPy. You have to, okay, so all these things scikit-learn. So this is very important that you have to write down somewhere. You have to check that what version you are using. Okay, so you can, wherever you are using, you can go and check that what is the version of the different libraries that you are using. So you can go and check what is that sklearn uh, underscore version underscore. So whatever, okay, so first you have to import. So import sklearn. Okay, so that this the version of sklearn. Sklearn is basically what? Actually, this is when you are going to install. When you are going to install, so command prompt. When you are going to install scikit-learn or sklearn, so you have to install scikit-learn. Pip install scikit dash or hyphen learn. You have to install this one. Okay, but when you are going to use, you are using sklearn, so you have to keep in mind these things. So this is basically scikit-learn that you are using. Scikit-learn you are using basically 1.6.1. So you have to write this scipy, but scipy using. So when you install scikit-learn, scipy is already like a default that you have to install scipy. So if you haven't installed scipy separately, so it will be installed scikit-learn. When you will start scikit-learn, so scipy will be installed. So all these things you have to, okay. So you have to collect all these things and put into a file that is basically requirements.txt. Okay. So if you don't know how to, what are the different libraries that you are using, so you have developed, let's say, suppose that you have developed your program and you haven't this requirement.txt. So whatever the different versions of the libraries or the packages you have used, so just you can create your requirement.txt simply like Python, and then okay, just let me check how to create requirement text in Python automatically. So what will be? Okay, you can use freeze. Okay, freeze then requirement.txt. So you can write this one. Okay, so what we'll write after Python, just space, then write freeze, then this greater than symbol or whatever you say. Okay, greater than symbol. Then whatever the file name you need. Okay, so requirements. This is requirements.txt. So all the library that you are using, all the library and the packages, and with their versions will be uh, created. Okay, what is that? Cannot open no such file or directory. Which one? To txt. Okay. So. What is Python? Please requirements.txt. So we have already please tell me. Okay. So we have already done. So that's why I think okay. Let's see that Python please and requirements. Okay. Oh, okay, so let's go and don't waste our time. So what we will do, yes, clear. So you need basically, you need this. Uh, mm, so let me delete this requirement one first, and then where we are. Okay, so Python let's use this one. But if we can't do like this, so we can do manually. Okay. So okay. So yeah, we can use pip3 freeze requirements. Okay. So this works. So you will get, but it's empty. Okay. No issue. We will add here. Okay. Whatever the requirement txt will be required. Okay. So so within that you need to install these things. So for that thing, I'm not going into detail here, but I'm going to activate my that I have already, because installing everything again it will not be good thing, but it will take a time. So I have already worked on this my VNV and this also. So I'm using this virtual environment, and let's deactivate it first and go into the my and script and then activate. So just activate this one. You can check that what are different packages and other things are there inside. So pip list you can use. Okay, happened. process this. Okay. Project this system cannot find the file specified. Oh, okay. CLS. Uh, so, okay, just let me check that whatever the files that we have, it's running or not. So these things we have Flask. So this will basically Python app.py. Okay, it's working fine. So we can go. Okay, so let's go with descriptions, and we have to check that why it's not showing all the installed uh, libraries and these things. Okay. So what we will do basically before doing this thing, so let me deactivate. So what the different things we need. Okay. So for that thing, see, as it looks that what we have done, we have created a file that you can go and check. Okay, here in the template, that one index file is there. This is basically locally that I have index file. Okay, so this is default one. You leave this, and this is what it will take. These are the whatever the values you are going to input here. So it will be corresponding value to the input feature. So it will be the first value that you are taking, that is pregnancies. What are the number of the pregnancies and glucose level. Then this is the second feature value, second input feature value, and the blood pressure, that will be the basically third. And this way, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, and the diabetes. Uh, uh, yeah, predictory function is there, and age. And when we are going to click on predict, it will show the prediction text that we have. Okay, if prediction text is true. So what is that basically? The structure is, so structure you have to follow that one thing. And one thing is that you can go without the virtual environment. Okay, you can directly go and install whatever the requirements are there, Flask and other things, Flask, NumPy, Pickle, SciPy, all these things directly in your the main machine. Okay, so without creating a virtual environment, sometimes it's not working. But yeah, this virtual environment, my VENV is working fine. So in that, I have installed all the required libraries like Flask I have installed. Okay, and one by one, you can go if you need how to install. So simply you can go here also in local terminal here at the whatever the ID you are using. Here you can use, or in that terminal you can use. Okay, so simple way you can install SciPy, scikit-learn, matplotlib. If you are going to give the versions, okay, so you can write 1.6.1. Then you can make a space. Then you can give a pandas and the version. Okay, so you can write directly here as well. And if you have already written all the things in your the requirement.txt file, so you can directly run the requirement file Okay, you can run here also. You can install any library here. Okay. Install Flask. Okay, you can install like this. You can go and install all these things. And the thing that we need, one thing, leave these virtual environments. Okay, so first 3 files, leave these things. So let's delete this one that is not working basically. So okay, so we can delete the first this virtual environment that is basically this. Okay. Okay. So you need only one virtual environment, and in that virtual environment you have to work. Okay. So here you see my VENV, that virtual environment is activated. So whatever you are installing, so those packages and files and libraries will be installed here. Okay. So all the things will be here. So you can see here libraries, whatever the libraries, different files you will get. Okay, SciPy is there, PP is there, scikit-learn is there, SciPy labs. So all files for the libraries will be installed or will be saved in this virtual environment. Okay, so globally it will not be saved on your in your like C drive or something like that. When you are deleting this file, so all these installed libraries files will be deleted. Okay, so that's the good thing that using a virtual environment. Now, what a thing is that you need template. Okay. So suppose that if you don't have template, so what you can do, you can go into your project and can create a folder basically, a direct. Okay. So you can go and give template name, templates. Okay. But we already have templates. Okay. So let's say template one is there. Okay. So you can create a template one. Okay. And within that you have to put what you have to put the index.html file. So within the template, basically templates, the folder name should be templates, and within that you have index.html. These are the default things that these are required. Okay, so within template you need a project. The project name is whatever project name is. So by my Indians diabetes project demo is there. This is the complete name. You can write only project. Okay, so within the project you need a folder that is templates, and within templates you need a file, HTML file, that is index.html. These are the requirements for the Flask. Okay, then only your program will work. So within that template, let's say how to create. Okay, so you can create a file, basically an HTML file. Okay, so an HTML file that you can give index.html. So this index.html file, whatever things will be, you have to write all these things within HTML file, and your HTML file will work for what? It will work for the front end. Okay, from here you are going to pass the value, and from here, so when you are passing the value of the input features, okay, so it will be, it will take, it will be taken by this your app.py. App.py is basically what? It will run on the server. Okay, so wherever the server is, so you know the client and server architecture of the in the internet or the browser, how browser and the server is working. Okay, so from that data, from the index, this will be root. This is the basically app.root. I will explain in detail. Okay, so this will be home, and this will basically the index. Okay, so from here, this index will be rendered, and whatever the things that you are going to take, from where you are going to take, so that will be of you will see here whatever the things are there in index, this one index. So let me delete first thing that complete this one. You need a templates folder inside your project folder. Okay, so because I have developed, I have created this one, so let's delete this one. So from where you can delete. Okay, you can go locally, you can delete. Okay, so uh, basically template one you need, not this one. Okay, so you need a templates, folder. Within that you need a this HTML dot index.html file. Okay, so this file will give you basically the front end, whatever the front end is. Okay, so you can develop, you can use different CSS, okay, to create this. Okay, these styles, coloring, and all these things. This, so basically this is a form, HTML form, and within that form you are filling all these things. And when you are submitting by clicking this for this button, basically you are submitting the values, whatever the values you have inputted. Okay, so here you can see this is a form. I have created a form, and basically this is whatever the heading you are writing. Okay, five ideals. So we are not going in detail that how to develop HTML. Okay, you can take it as a what, a template. Okay, you can use as a template, and you just whatever the things you need, you can make change here. Okay, so how many inputs you need, that many times you have to write this. Okay, input. So input tag you have to take these. So whatever the things are there, first is pregnancy. So this is the label. This is the label that is appearing here. Okay. So this level, the pregnancy, the glucose, blood pressure, skin thickness, insulin, BMI, and all these things, these are appearing because of the label that we have written. Okay, and this is the input. This is the input basically. That is this one that we need, that we have to input. So whatever the things that we can input here. Okay, glucose level, what is that? Blood pressure, what is these things? Okay, thickness, what is insulin level is BMI 34, let's say 24, 34, whatever the this thing, whatever the age is 43. So these are the values that we are inputting. That is because of this input. Okay. So input type what? Number. Okay, because the whatever the things that you can take here, uh, our data set basically, the input feature, we are taking the numbers. Okay, either the integer numbers are there, are the so you can go and check here this one. Okay, so what is that? Or data set based, you can check X, I think is capital X. So okay, these values are the input features. Okay, so first value, second value, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and these are okay. So this will be the pregnancy, this will be the uh, whatever the things are there. Okay, different values are there. So first you are taking this one, then glucose, then blood pressure, then skin thickness. So this is the repeating. Okay, first you have to write label, then input, label, then input, label, then input, BMI, then this one, diabetes pedigree function, label, input, label, input. Okay, and at the end, this is what? This is predict. Okay, predict. This is a input, submit. Submit button is there. So we have a submit button, this one. So this submit button basically submit all the values whatever you have entered here. Okay, so it will send to the server. Okay, now how server is receiving? Okay, server is receiving, how server is going to receive the data? So for that thing you need a file that is app.py. This is default name. You can write app.py. So this will be better. Okay, app.py. So app.py, what it working? It will be running on the server. Okay, and whenever any request from the user, from the browser is there, browser sends data to the server, and server will receive the data, and it will use the model, that this model.pkl file is there. Okay, so it will use the model. So model is here. Okay, so our model is basically we are having the model into same folder. Okay, in the project folder. Okay, so you can write this, the path of the, and you open the model. Now you have the model. Okay, so for the predicting, model dot predict. Okay, we were using the model dot predict, and you are passing the X feature values, basically input feature values. Okay, so whatever the input feature values you are inputting, so these input feature values is what you are taking this X from the form. Okay, so from the form you are taking one by one values, first value, second, fourth, second, third, fourth, and up to I think 8 features are there. Okay, and all these features you are storing into a list. This is basically a list. Okay, so this is a list. These values, this is the list comprehension. I think you people know that how the list comprehension is working. So this is the list comprehension. Okay, and this is a request. This is request. What request will do? It will, if you go here in the here, so what is the type? Type is submit. After submitting, this request will take all the values. Okay, and from the form, the values will give you the values. Okay, so one by one value you will take one value. If for X in this, okay, for X in this, for X in this, so first value pregnancy, then insulin, then that, this way we have to take in, and this value will give you something like the first this one. Okay, so all these things like from here 6 1 these values. Okay, but what is the values that you are inputting from the this? Okay, you are inputting here. Okay, so 134 72, and these values will be stored in a will be stored in a list, basically. So list name is input features here. Okay, so these input features you can just convert into NumPy array, because we need these things as NumPy. Okay, so you have seen that this is X is basically NumPy array. So convert it into NumPy array, and this will be your also. Okay, we are not going to print, so leave these things. Okay, so these input features, you pass these input features, call the model.predict. See, all these things we are taken only model. Okay, so you are going to put this model.pk file at your server. Okay, so wherever your server is, so this model.pkl file, this app.pk app.py file, and this templates folder. Okay, so these three things you need. Okay, so you can go here and you can find that what are the requirements only. So only these things are required. Okay, only these things. So readme is for the just to understand what the project is. So you don't need readme, you need only app.py and model.pkl and template. These three files. Requirement is optional. Okay, and templates.file. Within the templates.file you have html.file. So these three files must be on the server. Okay, server. So these three files are on server. This app.py is basically running, and whenever any request is there, okay, so it will take all the input features that are submitted from the front end. Okay, and it will convert into the your array, and then it will take the predict. Okay, it will predict the value, and we have to see that after the prediction you can find that whether prediction is only 0 or 1. Okay, so you can find what y is. Okay, so whether it is 1 or 0 1 or 0 1 or 0. Okay, so only 1 0 1 0 is there, whether a particular person woman is diabetic or not. So we are going to output if 1 is there, so we are going to say diabetes, and 0 is there, so we are going to say not diabetes. Okay, so this output prediction will be either 0 or 1. Okay, so this this will render index.html and prediction format output, so it will output this one completely. Okay, so that basically what we need here. Actually what we need Flask and render templates, that is, and JSONify I think it is not used. Okay, request is used. Okay, So you can delete this JSON file. This is not needed. And request, you have used pickle. Basically, what is the pickle? Pickle file, it is used to save the model and open the model. Okay, so you can see here we have saved the model using pickle file, because pickle for this library pickle.dump function. Okay, this dump function will take model, and model is basically this. Okay, and it will save as whatever the file name you have given. Okay, so and numpy, basically it's work for the numeric computation, like numpy array and other things. Okay, so these are the required. Okay, so this thing model dot pkl, that is our model that we have saved here in our folder. And now what you have to do, you have to open the model.pkl. Okay, so you can open using this pickle.load function. Okay, pickle.dump to save, pickle.load to open. Okay, so two functions we are using, pickle.load for the opening the pickle file. Okay, because this is a something some type of the file that you can't open on your laptop directly, like txt file, html file, and other files you can see, but this pickle file you can't see directly. Okay, so to open your file, pickle file dot pickle file, you have to use this dot load. Okay, now it is open, our file is open, that is basically model. Okay, now our model is open to be used. Okay, so the next is that you have to initiate your Flask. Okay, so that is app equal, this is also default write app. Okay, so that while running while making it to the live, that will be easy to work. Okay, no need to change the default names. Okay, so these are the defaults. So just write app.flask and then underscore name underscore. Okay, so this will be a root, this will be just slash will be your home root. Okay, home root is basically what? Home root is index.html. So for that home root, you need to write index.html. This is required. So, okay, you can't write any other name like myindex.html. No, this should be index.html only. Okay, so this will, what it will do, it will render. Okay, it will render your index.html, whatever index.html you have written. Okay, so the next root means the URLs. Okay, so next is whatever the your main URL is there, and then a slash predict. Okay, so when you are going to predict, when you are going to output the predicted value, so this will be, okay, this, let's say this is your this will be localhost 127.0.0.1. Okay, so this is 500, this is localhost, and when you do this one, so basically it will predict, it will give you something like that slash predict. Okay, so it will be slash that predict. You have to pass all the values. Okay, you have to put all the values, pregnancy and glucose, blood pressure, skin, all these things, and then predict. We'll see. Okay, so when slash predict is there, so means that you have clicked on the predict this button, and now this function will be this predict, this function, basically Python function is there, this function will be executed. So when you are executing running this function, so it will take all the values from this form. Okay, this is the form. Okay, this is an HTML form, and it will take the values one by one, and it will store into the list, Python list. And now you are going to convert Python list into numpy array that we have seen, and that numpy array will be, you see, whatever the numpy array is. So yeah, see here, so pickle.load that we have used. Okay, so you can see here, this is the loaded model, is loaded model equal. Okay, now the next step is whatever the loaded model your is dot predict. So dot predict, model dot predict, and you have to pass the value, the x value, that is without y. Okay, only x value we need. So you have to pass the x value, and those x value we have taken from the user form. Okay, so user form we have taken all the values and we converted into array, because x is basically here is array. Now you will get prediction. Okay, so whatever the prediction will be, you can check here what are the predictions for x. Predictions, if you go predictions, and let's say the first one. Okay, the first value in the predictions is not okay, so we haven't run this one. Okay, so predictions, you will get prediction 0 means first value, that is 1. Okay, basically, so you can do something like this, print. Okay, so it is 1.0 means that is 1. Okay, maybe let's say the third one, it's a 0. Okay, so whether it is 1 or 0, so prediction you will get either 1 or 0. So if diabetes, if prediction is equal to that one is 1, or else that will be 0. Okay, so you are going to get prediction, you will get only one value. Okay, so you are getting only one value, so ultimately that that will give you what basically, if you are taking only one value here, input feature, basically this is a 2D array, 2D numpy array, and this prediction will give you basically array value. Okay, so you have to take the first one. Basically only one value is there, but you have to take first one from the array. So that is 1. If it is 1, like predicted value is 1. If 1 is there, so this that first one, so it was 1. Okay, so prediction at 0, first one. Here, you don't confuse with this, okay, because we have inputted a lot of many things here. Let's say if only one is there, okay, it needs like, so what can we do? What can we do? Okay, so we can put first all the no, first walking. So let's go with this. X is how X looks. Dot save. Okay. So 8 is there, 78 is there. So what can we do? What can we do to find? So find 0 will be array, and if you are finding, then again, okay, 0. So first one. Okay, input is basically our 2D array here. So this will be basically within this, it will be our 2D array, and here we have to pass. Okay, so you'll get if our prediction is basically 0. So how it will look? 0. Basically, it will, our prediction will be something like that. Prediction value will be your 0. Okay, so it will be array. Okay, so you have to find, this will be the value of the prediction. Okay, this will be either 0 or 1 value. So what we are doing, so basically this is array, that is prediction, whatever you get here, prediction. Okay, so it will be array type. So from that you need the first value. Basically only one value is there. Okay, but still you need first value. So what you have to do, you have to give 0 1. So that's why we have given 0, and it will give this value. Okay, if it is in the array, if it is 0, then it will output this 0. If it is 1, then it will output this one. Okay, So what's the name? Okay. So if the prediction is 0, then not diabetic. If prediction is 1, then diabetic. It will take and it will render this output here where index.html when the root is slash predict. Okay, so in the index.html main root, if the it will like outputted the value of the this one is slash predict. Okay, so what the things are there? So basically these three things we need. Okay, so you can go that we have gone through these things one by one. Okay, everything. So now what you have to do? You have created index.html file, you have created app.py file, and you have already stored your model. Okay, so this will model, you can't read the model values, whatever the inside the values are, but you can open like this. Okay, and other things, this is the your the starting app.run. So debug is true. Okay, so you are going to run. So how to run your Flask application? So just you can write Python and whatever the app.py where your this app.run is written and where your app equal Flask. So this file basically app.py file you are going to write here. So you have to run app.py. So just in terminal you can write this app.py and Python. After Python just write app.py. Okay. So when you run this one, click this one, it will show you different things. Here you can use, okay, serving Flask app, that is basically app name is app, debug mode is on. This is a development server. There is a warning, okay, so development server. So one of the good thing is that to run any type of the web application, you need a server basically, okay. But in Flask application, there is like no need of the external server. Okay, Flask itself will work as a server. Okay, so this is a complete framework. It has in itself a server also. Its server will be running. But when for the deployment on the like live development, you need a server. Okay, you need a different server. This Flask server will not work. So that's why we will use G-Unicorn. Okay, when we will render on, we will deploy on the render website. So you see, this is the locally we are developing. So for the development, this is working. This Flask server is working. Do not use it in the production development. So when you are going for the production, means where you are doing the deployment live. So you need not don't use this server. Okay, means Flask server. Use the production of WSGI server instead. So WSGI server basically you can search what is WSGI server. Basically it's let me check. Okay, WSGI server. So what define web server gateway interface? So basically it's not actually full server, but what it will do, it will help to run your app.py, your Python application on a different server. Okay, it will communicate, it will work as a interface, gateway interface between the actual web server and your Python applications. So uh, like what are the okay, so we are not going in like detail of web development and other things. So okay, if you are more interested you can go. So but basically G-Unicorn is a WSGI server that will help you communicate between actual the server, okay, uh, and your program like Python, app.py and these things. Flask server, okay. So it will give you running your local on the local host. So you can copy or directly click on this and it will open. Control plus C and quit. This is okay. So you can open. Okay. So what other things that we have is stored? You can delete these things. You delete this also. And see, these are our running. Basically, it's running when you are going to click on this. So it's working all these things. This is default one that I have given one number of pregnancy one. You can give two, okay, three, and what are the glucose level and other things. So let's check that one that is available. That is available in the actual data set. Okay, the actual data set. So let's this one. The second one, that is one already we have given 85 for the glucose. So this put as one. The next glucose level is 85 and 66 is blood pressure and 29 for the thickness. You can see all these things. What is blood pressure in mmHg? Okay, millimeter, and this is Berkeley sign off, I think. And this will be your thickness, skin fold thickness in millimeter. Okay, so the second was 29. So okay, 29 we have done. Then you will get insulin in this. So that is 0. So let's do 0. And then BMI is 26.6. So you can put BMI 26.6. And this as what is that? Diabetes pedigree function. This value is this one. Okay, these are the clinical values on the basis of different like reports and other things. So don't confuse this how we are getting. Okay, so these are the clinical values. Okay, so age is 31. Okay, now let's say this is 0, so it should be not diabetic. So whatever the prediction is, the prediction should be not diabetic. Okay, so let me explain how it will working. Okay, how it will be working. So you are basically passing these things. You are passing these things. So these values like 1, comma 85, then 66, then 29, then 0, then 26.6, then 0.351, then 31. This is basically your input feature, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 input features are there. This is basically your X, and Y you are planning to get 0. Okay, as 0 prediction should be 0. So we are passing this whole thing. Okay, so as we have seen in app.py that these values are taken, are accepted from this form. Okay, so these values are stored in a list basically. Okay, using list comprehension. Now you converted this into array. Now you use the array model dot predict. Okay, so what you did, model dot predict. So in model dot predict you are passing this as an array, not the list, as an array. Okay, so you converted this X, this one list into array, and you are passing here as for the predict, model dot predict function. So it will give you, this model dot predict will give you an array, basically an array of 0 or 1. So it will give you this 0 or 1. Okay, so now you have to display this, you have to display this value 0 or 1. Okay, where you are going to display? You are going to display here. We are going to display here. Okay, and all these things we have seen here. You can check all these things. All all these things is okay. So one value is stored in our list 185, 66, 29, 0, all these things. Then it is converted into the array. Then it is used the model dot predict and these values as array. Okay, now you will get prediction either 0 as an array, one dimensional array, or one dimensional array as 1. Okay, so for that thing you have to take the value, that is first value, basically only one value is there. Okay, so now what it will be, this will be there, you submitted all these things. Now when you click the predict, it will basically give you whether it is, basically you check here whether it is diabetes or not diabetes. Okay, if 1 is there, so you are going to output diabetes. If 0 is there, then you are going to output not diabetes. Okay, so let's just check that whether it is working or not. Okay, so this is, see, this thing is working. After clicking the predict, you see slash predict is there. This is our the root, that whatever the home root is there, this is the home root. Basically this is the index.html. From here up to 5000 localhost colon 5000, that is our index.html. Okay, and then slash, that is predict, that is the value. Prediction is not diabetes. Okay, so you can see here whatever we have reached, it was 0 basically, and it was you can see on this also that this was 0. Okay, we have taken this value, the second value, second row, and this predict as 0. So basically we have taken this from the whatever the training data is. You can take any value, you can take any value and you can check. Okay, so let's just go and check for the any new value. For the attendance, the attendance will be given at the time. Okay, whatever the time is. Okay, like when the 30 minutes are left, or the 25 minutes, 20 minutes are left, so you'll get the attendance. Okay, so just give me just 1-2 minute for just water. We will start. Okay. So okay, what the things that we have done? Okay, basically we have developed our app.py index and model that we have already stored. Okay, we have run the Flask locally. Okay, Flask app locally. So this is basically okay. We can go and check for the any other value that is different value, that is for the 1. Okay, let's say for the 1, for this value, that's very okay. We will go whatever the values are given, so don't mind. This is the related to uh, the data set is related to the Pima Indians tribe, Pima Indians tribe in the Arizona state in USA. Okay, so is the glucose level, that is 168. So this is not related to us Indians, okay, but this is related to one tribe that is in Arizona state in USA. Okay, so this may be. So glucose level was 168 and this is what? Next is our blood pressure. Then we have skin thickness, that is 0. Okay, so let's give 0 and then again it will 0, then 38. Okay, then again it is 0, then BMI is 38. Okay, then this is our another one, diabetes predictive function is there. These are the clinical values. Age and other things. These are the given value by the patient, and other things like diabetes value, insulin, and all these things are the report values. Okay, so we reached here. Now just predict. So now what it says, diabetes. See here. Okay, so basically it was 1. Okay, so 1 is there, so diabetes, and 0 is there, so not diabetes. You can give here whatever the message you want to convey. Okay, so you can write here not diabetes. Okay, so not diabetic. Okay, diabetic, not diabetic, whatever the things you want to write. So this way you can work on your this thing. Yeah, so our server is running. Okay, so if you want to change, let's say just to change that, I want to make diabetic, not diabetic and diabetic. Diabetic. Okay, so just you save. Okay, and you see here something will happen. Okay, so again it will rerun your program, and again you will find that your program is okay. Form submission. No, we don't need this, but we can go back. Okay, so you can go back and you can find this one. Okay, you can go back again and you can find the next one. Okay, so let's say now check. So see, your data is changed. Whatever the message you want to output here, not diabetic. Okay, so it will work simultaneously, real time. Okay, so you saved here, it's working. So what other things are that we need? So that whatever we have done up to here. Okay, so first thing, we developed a index.html file. Second is that app.py file, and third that you need, that is your model.pkl. These things are there. These 3 things you need. Okay, for the deployment. These are the important things. And you get your attendance sheet, so go for the attendance and feedback. Okay, and tomorrow, I think tomorrow you will have some quiz type things. Okay, so ma'am will clarify this. So a small test for the this whatever you have studied about. Okay, from the introduction to machine learning, then we have seen the classification, and supervised, basically supervised, unsupervised. In supervised, we have seen different things, and unsupervised, we have seen then exploratory data analysis, we have seen data preprocessing, we have seen feature engineering, some part of the feature engineering we have seen. So a lot of things you have seen. Then we went for the model validation, model evaluation, and the model selections. Okay. Then we went for the hyperparameter tuning. So different things we have gone. Okay. With this short time. Okay. We have seen a lot of things, but not the complete one. You can't say that you have learned all the things in the machine learning. There are many things to learn, but these are the things that we have learned that are the most important, that you go for the classification, you go for the regression, clustering. So these are the different things that when you are starting the machine learning journey, so you have to start the learning. When you develop the model, then you should know that how you are going to evaluate model, how you are going to check that whether your model is accurate or not. What is the accuracy? What are the different metrics on that you are going to check for the accuracy? Okay, so we have seen all these things. Parameters we have seen, we have hyperparameters we have seen. So different things we have checked. Okay. So let's say you randomly, if you are going for the something, let's say one is there, one is there, one is there, two is there. So leave whatever the things are there, any random value. That is not possible, but let's check that for any random value. Let's say this is actual, but it says diabetic. Okay, because of the this insulin and blood pressure, these things we have put at 1 1. So this says that. Okay, 1 1 1 1, these things. This is previous one, the previous one. Okay. After predicting whatever you are getting, okay, this is your the things. So this way you can use these files, you can change the files, okay, and in that file you need. Okay, so let's move ahead, and you can create a repository, okay, to push your data to GitHub. Okay, so that is the one thing. Okay, so let me do this, and if time will be there, then we will try to deploy on random. Okay. So okay, so basically you have to log in into your GitHub repository I have created here. You can create a new repository, whatever the repository name is. Okay, so just log in to your GitHub and go to repositories. Okay, either from here you can go directly from the file, and you can go different these repositories are their profile, different things are there, so you can go to repositories. Okay, you can create new, give the repository name, whatever the repository name, let's say ML, so not in capital, ML complete project. Okay, you can write like this. So if it is not already existing, so you can use. Okay, you can give the optional description. So this is whatever you, this is our demonstration for deployment of the ML model built using Flask web framework. Anything you can write. Okay, whatever you can write. Public, you need to make it public. You just make a readme file. It's better. Always try to include readme file. You can write different things on that. Okay. So just create a repository. Okay, so in that repository, you have to put that you can use you can install Git on your local system and you go with the Git. Okay, but you can directly upload the files. Okay, so whatever the files you are going to upload, just check that where your file is. Okay, so basically we need only these files, pkl file, app.py, and this template. Okay, these three things we need. We don't need my environment. Environment is not needed. This environment is only for the local. Okay, so when you are deploying online, in our case we are using a render. Okay, so okay, just check an requirement as txt. Okay, just take. But before that requirement, we were working for that. It was not working. So manually you can write. Okay, and this was this. Okay, manually put the requirements, whatever the requirements are there. And pkl we need this and we need this. Okay, so just drag and drop these files. So just to commit, just to check that within the templates, template is a folder. Within the template we need index.html. Okay, so within templates we need. If you are putting outside the template, so I haven't checked, but it may not work. App.py, model.pkl, these three files we need. Okay, requirement.txt. So commit and it will be here. Okay, so basically that I need my requirement.txt file that was working basically. So you can go with the here. This was actually. Okay. So just we are going to open and we are going to copy the things that we. Okay. So just copy these and go into that recently today this that we have created. Okay, so in this it is basically there is no. Okay, so what you can go and edit in place, you can edit. Okay, just put all these things and go for the commit changes. Okay, so always you have to commit. You can make update requirements, you can give any commit message. So in the main and all these things, I hope that you have worked on the GitHub. Okay, so all these things we need. Okay, so now what the things that we have done here, you can check within the template we have our HTML file. You can check all these. You can go and you can modify the CSS file. You can check here as many input feature are there. So let's say that how many input features are there? 8 input features are there in our when we are working the model. Okay, so this is the first input feature. For the first input, basically we are taking input. Second input, to take the input for the second input feature. Okay, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, eighth, nine. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this will be input feature 1, input feature 2, input feature 3, similarly. Okay, so these are the same. These are the same. Just use this template. All the things are same. Just you have to give whatever the input feature is, like label, whatever the labels you want to give. Blood pressure, skin thickness. These are labels. These are the input type. What types are there? Basically, we are taking number. And what is the name of this input? Name, BMI, this insulin, skin, and skin thickness, blood pressure. So basically, whatever you are taking here, label, the label for whatever giving your name, just give the name here, for and name. For insulin, name insulin. For BMI, name BMI, make it same. Okay, so for any project, for anything that you want to take input from the user, so just you can create an HTML file, an HTML form basically. In that form, you can take the values from the user and just pass to the server. Okay, this is the work of your the front end, that is your HTML form. Okay. So after that, what we have that app.py that we have already seen in detail that how it is working, and this is model.pkl that we have saved model. Okay. And requirement.txt basically. Requirement.txt is your these things. Okay. So let me make a summary of whatever all the things that we have done up to today. Okay. So I will deploy it tomorrow. Okay. The last thing, and make it live, but tomorrow. Okay. Not. So you have to wait, and it will be good one. Okay. So up to here we have done this. Okay. And we have run at the Flask locally. We have done all these things. Okay. So recap whatever we have studied, because tomorrow we are going to conclude the session, and that will be the last one. Okay. So before that, maybe tomorrow you may have a test. Okay. So whatever we have studied, that in let's recap. Okay, summary. So in the first, that what we have studied, that is basically introduction. Okay. So introduction, ML, introduction to machine learning. So introduction to ML we have seen. We have seen how machine learning is working. Okay. So what we different things we need. So you have seen that you need algorithm basically, and that algorithm will be trained on data set. Okay. So you need data. So most important thing is that you have data, and you can work on the algorithm. So what algorithm is there? Now training your or the process, whatever the process is, you can write here basically. The process is basically what training is. Training is going on. Okay. And obviously all these things, data, where data you have, where algorithm you have, where the training is happening. Okay. All the things are in the machine. Okay. So you have a machine, and on the machine may be your laptop, machine may be anything else. Okay. So after training, you will get model. Okay. And that at the last, today we have seen that this model is basically what? That we have saved model. You can say model.pkl. Okay. So this is your model, actual model that you get. Okay. So when you say the model, so model is basically what? Model is, this model will have the values of the parameters, and many other things it will have. What machine learning algorithm you have used, what are the hyperparameter values, what are the parameter values, weights, and other things. All these things it will. Okay. So this way we have seen, and the second thing that we have seen, that types of the machine learning. What are different types? The way that you are going to learn, the machine is going to learn type of machine learning. So in that we have seen that we have learned in detail with only two types, but different types are there. The different learning way are there, types are there. So one is that supervised learning, another is unsupervised, and that we have seen reinforcement. Okay. So now whatever the development nowadays is going on, so in robotics, in the generative AI and other things. Okay. So reinforcement learning is very important. But when we are starting when we are when we have the beginner level, so we have to understand this. Okay, so we have seen the supervised. What is supervised? What types of the data it needs? What are the algorithms are there? What types of data is unsupervised needs? Okay, what are the algorithms? Okay, so basically we need labeled data. Labeled data, when we say that it has the y, x and y both. So if the data is labeled data, y is continuous. So we are going to say algorithm is regression. You can perform regression algorithms. Okay, regression you can perform regressions. Okay, so in regression there are different types of the regression: simple, linear regression, multiple linear regression. So we have learned about linear regression, that is simple linear regression. If y is not continuous, it's not continuous, and it is categorical. Categorical, you say that let's say that male, female, and something like that. City, and all these things. City value, country name. So different text values. So generally there are category. Okay, hierarchy, and then let's say that junior engineer, senior engineer, engineer 1, 2, 3, something like that. Some categories. So for that thing, the labels are there, 0, 1 there, 0, 1, 2 are there, labels are there. So these type of the things you can work if your the predicted value or the class value is basically what the categorical value. So you can perform classification. Okay, and we have seen that what different types of the classification you can use. Classification one is that algorithm. That classification was that k nearest neighbor classification that we have seen, that we have worked. Okay, and the decision tree. Decision tree. Okay, so this was related to our supervised learning. There are there are many other classification algorithms and models that we need to cover. Okay, but same way, all the things are there. Just algorithms working is different. Okay, how they are working, what are the mechanism that algorithms take. Okay, that is the thing. But classification will classify your data point into the classes. Let's say class 0, class 1, or class 2. Okay. So classes will be there, labels will be there, categories will be there. So all these things are there. Unsupervised learning, we have seen basically data is your unlabeled. Okay. So unlabeled data is there. And there are different unlabeled data. So y is not present here. Okay. So unlabeled data, we have seen that unlabeled data, y is not there. So you can perform different type of the algorithm, different type of the task. One task is that is very important, that is clustering. And we have implemented two different clustering algorithms. That was one k-means clustering, and one was the hierarchical clustering, and within that hierarchy we have taken agglomerate. Okay, reinforcement learning we haven't seen a lot. Okay, after that these things we have seen, then we went to the uh, pre-processing data set. Within that we have seen a lot of things, many pre-processing data set, and the uh, exploratory data analysis we have seen, feature engineering we have seen. Okay, so you can use different libraries like pandas. Okay, numpy, that we already using pandas for the reading all the data as a pandas data frame. Okay, SciPy you can use. Okay. Seaborn you can use. Okay. Seaborn for basically Seaborn for visualization. Okay. Visualization basically interactive visualization. Yes. Okay. Matplotlib you can use. This is also for visualization, but not interactive. Okay. So different things you can use for the exploratory data analysis and these things. Okay. So in that, in pre-processing, we have seen different things. Okay. Missing values, we have seen a lot of things. We can't go all these things. Outliers, we have seen. How to handle categorical data, we have seen. Okay. Different things. One hot encoding we have seen. Okay. So different things we have seen on this. Then we move to the model validation and model evaluation. Okay. So for how you are going to validate your model, how you are going to evaluate. So for the regression, we have seen. For the classification, what are the accuracies? R square is basically root mean absolute error we have seen, mean absolute error we have seen. Okay. And different absolute errors we have seen. Okay. Mean squared error we have seen. Root mean square error we have seen. Okay. Different evaluation techniques. Evaluation means when you are going to find whether what is the accuracy, what is how you are going to evaluate whether it is correct or not. For the classification, we have seen accuracy. What is the accuracy to classify the data points? Okay, so what is accuracy? We have seen confusion matrix also. It's matrix. Okay, so on the basis of confusion matrix, you can find different things we call 3Cs, and you can find and F1 is different things you can find. Okay, there are other ways, ROC curve and different things are there, but we haven't got. So you have evaluation. Okay, so validation. For the validation, we have seen train test. How to validate train test split. We have seen that when you are going to split your data set into train and test, then how you are going to validate on the test data set. Okay, this is the one way. Always we are using train and test split. Okay, so that is best way to find out to put your data set into two different subset and train on one subset and validate on or the test on the different set. So cross validation, different part was cross validation. And in the cross validation, we have seen k-fold cross validation. Okay. So in that we have divided our data set into k subsets, equal subset. Okay, and we are training k minus 1 on k minus 1 folds, and we are testing only on one fold. Okay, leave one out. We have seen leave one out validation or cross validation. So different things are there. Different things we have seen. Then we have seen hyperparameter tuning. Okay. So this is the important thing that we have seen there. What are the parameters that we are let's say k means clustering is there. Okay. So and k nearest neighbor. So k means clustering. So how many that k nearest neighbor in k nearest neighbor, let's say that how many nearest neighbor on the basis of nearest neighbor you are going to classify a particular data point into a different class. Okay. So these things are there. So we have used all these things in different libraries, and scikit learn, basically this is the important library where when you are doing model ML model development, when you are developing the machine learning model, so scikit-learn library, that is we are importing sklearn. This is very important library. Okay, so you can use this one when you are using Python. Okay, and finally we have seen that now today that we have seen basically how to uh, deploy, not deploy, but complete Flask project. Okay, with front end and back end and all these things. So hmm. So we are heading to the end of the session. So if you have any doubt, also we can take the doubt. Okay.
Yeah, okay, so like we can wind up for the day. So one more important update, like students, tomorrow is the last day for this session. So tomorrow we do an assessment. Okay. So like for 1 hour assessment will be, okay, be prepared.
So for tomorrow, 1 hour, this for me. Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir. Like tomorrow 7 to till 8 or 8:10, you can take the class. After 8 or 8:10, I will share the assessment link on the same chat. They can take out the test.
Okay. Okay. That's fine.
So yes, sir,
Okay,
you
ma'am.
can
Then
wind up for the day. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 7 p.m.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, students. We'll meet again by tomorrow. As I told, kindly inform your friends as well. Like tomorrow, you do have an assessment for 1 hour. 1 hour will be classes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. Good night.